Morning, this is Brian. I am in the Angeles National Forest, parked right on Angeles Crest Highway. I'm near the Chilao Visitor Center. Today is Saturday, October 19th, 2019. Kind of in the deciding phase of what summits I want to climb today. I'm right here in a nice open stand of coulter pines right here. Some beautiful coulter pines growing here. One of the most common trees here by Chilao, Venice coulteri. Beautiful trees. Not as large as the ponderosa and Jeffrey pines, but definitely very interesting trees. Heaviest pine cones of any tree in the Pinaceae, the pine family. And now we got a canyon live oak, Quercus chrysolipus, right here. You see the acorns are starting to ripen on the tree. Beautiful tree. You see some acorns on the ground already, so it's acorn season. Now, if you go up this lip like I'm doing right now, you could take a fire break that'll lead you to a very random peak. I did this last year where you could follow this fire break. There's a peak over there, peak 5698. Did that last year. It's a really nice hike, a little steep in spots, but it's a short hike, pretty relaxing. Beautiful area. Beautiful coulter pines at the summit. Don't know if I'm going to do that one today, but there are a couple of summits on both sides of the Chilao Visitor Center. I'm parked right near the Visitor Center, but on the edge of the highway. If you go walk a little bit further on Angeles Crest, you'll see a road that comes out on your left, and if you turn left in there, it'll take you to the visitor center, I believe some group campgrounds, and a Forest Service station. But on both sides of the visitor center area, there are a couple of small random peaks. We got Newcomb Ranch on the other side of that peak right there. In fact, that summit has an informal name called Newcomb Ranch Peak. Might hit that one. And on the other side, it's called Peak 5560. And it's supposed to have one of those little metal triangle signs at the summit. I've seen a YouTube video or two about it. If you do Peak 5698, you'll get some really good views into Devil's Canyon. If you look over here, you get some great, awesome views into Devil's Canyon. And there's supposed to be there's a trailhead, there's a small trailhead, maybe about a quarter of a mile back that way near the Chilao campground turnoff, but it's on Angeles Crest Highway. And there are, on one side of the street there's a restroom and everything, and on the other side of the street is the actual trailhead. Now, this is one of those trails where you hike down and then hike up on the return. But yeah, you can see there's some random small summits around here filled with big cone Douglas fir, coulter pine. Might be there are a few Jeffrey pines, I think, around here too. I know there are some over in the Chilao flat area. There are a lot of Jeffrey pines and some coulter pines and big cone Douglas firs mixing in. Over by Charlton Flat, which is a couple miles back on Angeles Crest Highway. Back meaning if you're coming from La Cañada Flint Ridge like I did. Unfortunately, you have to take the big detour and everything. That area's got predominantly ponderosas, so it's a very interesting area in the San Gabriel Mountains. Of course, you know me. I do a lot of my hiking here in the Angeles National Forest. I just have a lot of fun here, and I just really enjoy coming up here. I've been on vacation this week, and this is actually only the third time I've been out. I know I've been uploading a lot of videos because I've been shooting a lot of video on the other trips that I've taken, like in the San Bernardinos last Sunday. Spent a lot of time shooting video there. Then I went to Powder Canyon a couple days ago, and I shot a lot of video there. So I've just been really into documenting where I go, because I just find I just find these places interesting, and I like to share my interest of them with people. But yeah, you can see right here we got the north facing slope here of Devil's Canyon, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous stand of predominantly big cone Douglas fir, as you can see as it goes down. We're about an elevation of 5,280 feet. We're roughly about a mile high in elevation right now, give or take 20, 40 feet. The Chilao Visitor Center is about, similar elevation, maybe a few feet lower. But in Devil's Canyon, the main trail takes you down to like about 3,500 feet, I want to say. I've never actually taken it, but I've seen people's videos and blogs about it. You have a decent climb on the way out, so I would definitely like to take that hike, because it gets very lush down there. But once you dip below about 5,000 feet, you're going to have to really look out for poison oak. There's supposed to be a lot of poison oak down there, so you have to watch where you're hiking. Up here, since we are still within the station fire burn area, you still have to watch out for poodle dog bush along here. And when I came up here last year, it was like September 30th last year, I remember did a climb up the fire break to 5698, and there was still some poodle dog bush there, and I would imagine there still is now. It's only a year later, but most of it's died off, except for patches of it that have perpetuated for the last 10 years. But it's just a beautiful area. It's nice to be here and enjoy the mountains. And now we got some views on the other side of Devil's Canyon. We're heading over towards Twin Peaks West right there, and then the real pointy Twin Peaks East is behind it, and the slightly higher Twin Peaks East. And if you go down this side of the gulch underneath Newcomb's Ranch, there's a really lush area of tall conifer forest down there, because it's in a drainage. There's lots of big cone Douglas fir, Jeffrey pine, incense cedar, and over by this old cabin site called Louie's Cabin, there's a really tall, very vigorous giant sequoia that was planted decades ago. It's probably about 120 feet tall. There's a huge Jeffrey pine right next to it. So down there's a nice little drainage, and very moist down there. Lots of willows. And if you go further out, like if you're down in this area, you'll see where the big trees are. But if you take a small little use trail that goes further this way towards going past the No-Comb Ranch area, you'll find a couple little meadow areas that are really neat. The meadows are not quite as prevalent here in the San Gabriels as they'd be in the San Bernardinos or the Sierra Nevada. But I just wanted to show you guys what kind of interesting stuff you can find in the Chilao area. It's one of my top areas in the San Gabriels because of the beautiful trees. And we even got a Jeffrey pine right here. So come to Chilao. Visitor Center is really nice. I got friendly people in there. Went in there once last year. Nice people in there. So you got a lot of camping around here. Then you got picnic areas at Charlton Flat. So this area is pretty good. And at about 7 to 10 miles up that way is the Buckhorn Waterman area, and there's a lot going on over there too. So be sure to check it out. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to go cross over into the visitors area, and then maybe start heading towards one of the peaks, and I'll just see which peak I hit first. Should be relatively short, not really strenuous hikes, so just looking to close out my vacation on a good note. Tomorrow's my last day, and then I go back to work on Monday, so just trying to get one last lick in before life goes back to working all the time. So we'll see where the next video leads me.